Hey Video Journal, welcome back to another journal entry. Today it is currently September 28th, a Sunday evening. It is 5:09 p.m. In today's video, as you guys have seen on the title, we will be talking about how it is very good to listen to our elders. And this does not just apply to people that are in their late teens, kids. It does not only apply to people in their early 20s. It applies to everyone. And maybe I would change it and say, just listen to other people, not just elders. Because sometimes elders could give us advice that doesn't really serve us. Or sometimes a younger person or someone who is not in the same field as you could give you an advice that could be beneficial to you. And if only you were just open enough and humble enough to receive that advice, you would notice a difference into your life. So let's jump right into this video. So like I said in my, mini introduction, it is very important for us to humble ourselves and to actually be open to new comments, criticism from people, and also advice from our elders or just people younger than us. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we could have honestly avoided those things happening if only we had accepted maybe our parents' advice, maybe a coworker's advice. And another thing is, do not underestimate someone just because they're in a place where you are not, where you don't want to be. Like, for example, I once walked in the streets in downtown. I once saw a homeless guy and he gave me some good advice. Now, I won't say what he was talking about, but he gave me some good advice that I do see how it could serve me in the future, if not now. And the beauty in that is, because I wasn't looking at his current situation and I was really more focused on what he was saying, I could actually apply it to my life. But if I was walking around feeling pride and feeling like I'm on top of the world, which technically is pride, I would never be able to grow. And I feel like growth requires understanding, requires open-mindedness, requires you to be humble. Now, when I say be humble, I don't mean too humble, but I mean humble enough to accept new things, to accept criticism from people. Because guys, we are not all perfect. And we are not all perfect and we can't do everything ourselves. Sometimes we need to watch videos. Sometimes we need to get an advice or an opinion from someone else. Now, in everything that I'm saying about listening to people and actually being humble and receiving advice, you need to be able to discern whether this advice should apply into your own life. It's not every advice or every person's comment that should actually have such impact on who you are, or maybe the content you're making, or maybe, I don't know, the job choice you want to make in the future. It's not every comment that should influence your decisions. Sometimes you should, yes, take the advice, but also see if it aligns with your values and see if it will actually help to get to where you want to be. Sometimes you actually need to sit down and reflect. Because I can't count the number of advice my own mother, who obviously wants the best for me, has given me. And because I know what I want and I know what my values are and I know where I'm going, I didn't take it. Now, I didn't take it not because I don't respect my mom, not because I don't value her opinion, but I didn't take it because that is not where I wanted to go. And when I didn't take it, everything ended up in my favor because, obviously her advice was of good intent, but it was not for me. But I accepted it. And, there are also sometimes they will give you advice and sometimes you just need to listen. But like I said, it's all about discerning whether or not this will apply into your situation or if this is something you should just let go. And I feel like these are things that we need to, as human beings, we need to be more open to receiving. And it is very, very hard, I'm not gonna lie, for when people comment or tell you stuff or call you out on your behavior or on what you're doing. But it's the people that will actually call you out on whatever thing you're doing and hold you accountable of your actions genuinely love you. Because let me give you an example. There were times I was surrounded with friends or people that just did not want me to grow or did not really care about me. They like they, showed the world, like, they would sometimes post me and say, oh, my best friend, or oh, my sister, oh, my this. But in the relationship itself, they never really treated me like their sister or like their friend. They never really called me out to order. They never held me accountable. They never told me like, hey, Kate, maybe you shouldn't wear this, or maybe you should be more careful when you're talking to so and so. But one thing I realized is honesty is love. Honesty is love. And when someone is honest to you, guys, please don't be so quick to get angry and be so quick to be like, oh, why did she say this, or why did he say that? Honesty is like this person holding up a mirror to your face and showing you who you are, and it's trying to tell you like, yo, you need to change this. And when someone is being honest with you and calling you out to order, it's because they want you to better yourself. So guys, don't see every like, comment a friend might give you as a negative thing. Yes, sometimes some people could actually be very, sneaky with it, and they actually just want to hurt you. But you need to understand the dynamic in your friendship. Again, it doesn't apply to every friendship, but you need to understand the dynamic in your friendship and understand who the person is, and maybe even see beyond the surface level of things. Like, I remember back in high school, I had a friend, and she once called me out. Like, she texted me on Instagram saying like, hey girl, I hope everything is okay, but like, you were in the hallway and you were kind of talking loud and da-da-da-da-da, and I saw how everyone was looking at you, and I just felt bad, and I don't want, it to repeat itself again. At the time, me and this person, we weren't very, very close. But when I read the message, I did try to understand, but I was just so offended that this person would use such harsh words on me. And I felt like, you could probably soften your tone. And I also felt like I wasn't loud, right? But, with time, as I'm getting older and I'm understanding things, my own friends who were with me never called me out. It was this other girl that called me out. And she called me out not because she wanted to humiliate me, not because she didn't like me, but because she wanted me to be the best version of myself and to be more self-aware. Whereas my own friends, the people I was hanging out with, the people I was laughing, eating lunch with, did not have anything to say. Instead, they went behind my back and talked and probably said other things. Now, what I'm trying to say with all of this is that, like, listen, if someone is being honest with you, if someone is calling you out to order, if someone is giving you advice, it's not because they hate you guys. It's not because they feel like you are below them. It's because they actually want you to grow. And sometimes we need to actually believe that there are people out there that actually want us to succeed. Because imagine, okay, I'm with my friend and I don't give her any advice. I don't call her out when she's doing something bad. I just let her be. That is me encouraging her downfall, literally. That is me just like, okay, it's not my business. Either way, I'm not going to be friends with you on the long run, so you do you. So if your friend is like calling you out, if someone is advising you, just please be humble and listen to what they have to say. Sometimes the delivery might not be the best because everyone is different. My friend who told me that I was being loud in the hallways, her own delivery was not very, very, very nice. She used very harsh words, but the meaning behind it was not to hurt me. It was to let me know that, hey, you need to be more self-aware. You need to be more cautious of where you're at and who you are around. And what she did for me isn't what my own friends could do. And I feel like it's through these type of discussions that you have or conversations you have with your friends or your family members that you get to see who really, really values you and who really wants the best for you. So instead of cutting everyone off because you feel like, oh, they're always making shady comments, or they're always saying this, or they're always saying that, try to see it from another perspective, because in life, not everything is about the negative. Not everything is about people hating on you, people preying on your downfall. Sometimes in life, people just want to see you at your best. It's just that, like, you just need to be more open and soften your heart a little more to understand what they're saying. And let me give you another example that will probably help you guys. I would say maybe a year ago now, my friend came and she was like, oh, I want to buy it. Well, my old friend, she came and she was like, I want to get a BMW. And keep in mind, we were still in high school, and I was thinking of, you are going to college, you're going to be working part-time. If you're buying a BMW, it's most likely not going to be a brand new BMW. And then also you need to pay insurance, you need to pay gas. If anything happens to the car, you need to pay extra money to maintain the car. So I was thinking of all those things, coupled with the fact that I also saw my mom struggle when she was younger. And when she told me that, I was like, oh, that is great. But you also need to think about the downside. My intention in saying that wasn't because I was trying to discourage her from getting her dream car. I feel like, hey, if you came to me and you want to get a Mercedes or a BMW or an Audi, I will love it. Because, who doesn't want to have a friend who has a luxury car? But let's be real. Let's be absolutely real. If I'm your friend and I truly care for you, and I see that your situation is really not the best, or maybe that there's something better, maybe you should not spend so much money on a car that might disappoint you at the end of the day, and I'm advising you on that, is because I love you. But instead, this girl took it in a bad way. She took it as if I was belittling her, as if I felt like I was superior, as if I felt like she was an illiterate. I don't know why she thought that, but she felt like that. And on the long run, she got to understand that I genuinely do care about her. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say with all of this is that, guys, not everyone has bad intentions. When I told her about maybe getting another car, like a Toyota, maybe a Honda, it wasn't because I didn't want her to live life and drive in a nice car. It's because I thought of the downside. I thought of the fact that she's a college student, that, gas is expensive, especially after COVID, that also insurance, that also if you have to maintain the car or change your tires or change a part of the car, you have to think of the price of that. And I also understood that she was a college student and a part-time worker. So I was taking all of those things into account, all those factors into account. And I was like, you know what, girl? That is a very not great idea, but I also think you should consider these things since you are still young, since you are still in college, and all of that stuff. But she didn't see it like that. And also, a last thing I would want to say to those that are watching my videos who are also the honest ones is, not everyone deserves your honesty, and not every person that will come into your life will actually deserve you to be blunt and all of that. Because some people, they don't want to hear the truth, and it's so weird to hear, but some people don't want to hear the truth. And the reason why they don't want to hear the truth is because the truth goes against what they want. And that's it. It goes against what they want, so they refuse the truth and they resent you for telling them the truth. So sometimes, even when you see them doing something that is not correct, if it's someone that is close to you, you could try to advise them. But if it's someone that you're not very, very close to and you know how their character is, maybe probably just distance yourself from that, because you don't want to be associated with whatever act they're doing or committing, whatever it is. But it's not everyone that deserves or that wants to hear your honesty, or that actually will understand your sincerity and your kindness behind your advice. So sometimes save it. But what I will always encourage you to do is at least try, or always be honest with those that are, like your best friends, your family members, and the other people that are also watching my videos who have a hard time accepting criticism. Be more open to receiving advice from elders, from people younger than you, from people around in society, because you don't know. So many people have lived through the same things you're going through, and they have the blueprint, and they could give you the passes and everything. And that only requires you to listen for you to get those, answers to the doubts that you have, or whatever it is. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys love my content. I hope you guys always remember that honesty is the most important and significant thing in every relationship. Without honesty, there's no growth. And if you don't accept advice or criticism, you will always go down. Because in life, we can't just live with our own understanding and with what we think is right. We need to also receive advice and comments from outsiders. Even haters could actually help you grow, and you need to be more open to that. So get off your high horse and be humble in life. Okay, so that is it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell to be notified at every Lacoste K content I will be posting. Don't forget to follow all my socials, my Instagram, which is Lacoste K, my TikTok, which is K_N.A, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I already mentioned. So have a nice and blessed day. Thank you. See you next week.